Hello, everyone, and welcome to this group. If you are new to my world, let me introduce myself. My name is Aneta Itchak. I'm a trauma-informed somatic coach and teacher trainer, an educator, and a podcast host. I absolutely love my podcast. If you have not had a chance to listen to my interviews and episodes, you can check it out. It's called Through a Trauma-Informed Lens, Soma, Psyche, and Soul. And I'm also a founder of Golden Mandala Yoga Soma Institute, running trauma-informed somatic teacher and coaching certifications and trauma-informed yoga teacher certifications, as well as embodied business mandala mentorship. Welcome. I hope you are finding the resources that I've been sharing useful and helpful. I have been self-employed for 14 years, fully self-employed for the last over 8 years. When I left my career in social care, I've worked in social care previous to that for 16 years. In dual diagnosis, so mental health and substance misuse, and then with child protection. So I have got over 25 years experience of doing this kind of work, initially 16 years in social care, and then in social care and running my own yoga and wellness studio, coaching people, teaching people, working with so many clients. And I love this kind of work. Absolutely love it. So the trainings that I deliver, the masterclasses that I do, they all are based on a lot of experience of working firsthand with individuals, with families, with group settings, in one-to-ones, in social care, for charities, with charities, and in my own yoga and coaching business. So I think it's important to say it in here because one of the questions that I hear a lot when people come into this group, I ask a few questions before I allow people to enter the group. One of the questions that I hear a lot is, does it work? Does this work? Does the trauma-informed somatic stuff works? And it's a really great question because there is a lot of stuff, especially online, especially on social media, that promises you amazing transformations, instant transformations, that promises you will be completely different. You will heal anything in an instant with a whoosh. That's been around forever. I've been studying for 30 years. I did a lot of NLP almost 30 years ago. Before I started working in social care. And even then, there was loads of this stuff, the swoosh thing, and, changing your beliefs in an instant, cathartic stuff. And yes, it's all really great, but can your nervous system integrate it? Can there be a long-lasting change, healing, and growth within your system? Or are you just going to have this powerful experience and nothing changes afterwards? So one of the things that I know about trauma-informed approach and somatic practices, body-focused practices, when they are done in that approach, trauma-informed somatic approach, with a practitioner who really understand what the nervous system is all about, how it works, and not just the nervous system, but also the physiology, because they come together. What to look out for. This is the kind of stuff that I teach you in our 160-hour trauma-informed somatic teacher and coach for women training certification. This is the basis, the foundation of everything. You need to understand the nervous system. So we talk about polyvagal theory, we're talking about the traffic lights, understanding of the nervous system. We're talking about window of tolerance and your capacity. But we also talk a lot about physiology. Like, yes, this is all good and well within the nervous system language and understanding. And how does it translate really to physiology, to somebody's experience of their daily living? And what do I mean by that? I mean, they sleep. Are they able to rest? Are they able to sleep? Are they able to eat? So the sleep, rest, digestion, their movement and activity, they peace of mind, sense of peace of mind, they resting heart rate, their heart rate variability, they in a sense of safety, and being able to draw on the stability and safety of the environment, their lifestyle. They're not separate. I mean, I've seen people somehow disconnect those two, like, I'm working on my nervous system, and yet making decisions around their lifestyle that does not help them regulate their physiology and their nervous system. You cannot do that. They have to come together. They have to be together. So yes, the answer to the question, does it work? Yes, it does work. Is it easy? No, it's not easy, in a sense that you have to make different choices about your lifestyle. It's not enough just to come and have a session with a practitioner, or one-to-one, or attend a group or some kind of training. You have to then change some of your habits. You have to then work on your inner resources do the practices on a daily basis, sometimes few times a day, like daily checking in. Somatic self-compassion. This is all the stuff that I teach you in the training that I do with my clients. You have to take radical responsibility for doing it. And of course, with that comes radical self-compassion. Gentle self-compassion and fierce self-compassion, very related to boundaries, having boundaries. It's not enough you just doing some work with a practitioner and then going off and doing stuff how you were doing it for the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. If you know that, for example, the boundaries are a big issue, that you do a lot of people pleasing, that you sacrifice your own needs to take care of others, and it's completely out of balance, you doing some work, some somatic practices, and not addressing that, it's not going to change anything, or it's going to change very little. So the reality of it is that in order for you to heal and grow, you might have to make different decisions. Otherwise, it does not happen. It doesn't miraculously happen. It's not like you arrive and a practitioner gives you energy healing stuff and off you go. And if it was that simple, I bet the amount of time you had those kind of treatments, it would have happened for you already. And it doesn't, because there is this one little thing called free will. And the free will means that you have to choose for yourself, and you have to commit to yourself, your own healing and your own growth. And of course, there are other situations. I mean, I've worked in social care. I know there are situations when we might be in a position, or somebody that we know might be in a position when they're so vulnerable, they need somebody else to take care of them. That's different. Or somebody's young, like a child or teenager, they cannot take care of themselves. That's okay. They need to be taken care of. I've worked with families that were open on child protection for many years. I know that there are situations like that, and that's what needs to happen first. But for most of us, excuse me, for most of us, we are not in that crisis situation, that survival crisis situation. We are in a more stable situation. And that's when that free will and radical responsibility need to come in. And this can be quite challenging for you and me as practitioners, because I know that if you're anything like me, we want to help, we want to support, we want to nurture. And just like me, you might have experience of, doing it for 25 years, and there is that wanting to help. But ultimately, and this is something that we cover in the training as well a lot, we talk about meeting somebody halfway, and empowering them to make their own choices, make their own decisions. We give them tools, we hold the space, we guide them, but then they have to do their part of the work. And this is a big thing for many, especially female practitioners. There is this societal conditioning that we should be all nurturing, all compassionate, all caring. And actually it can be very disempowering for the clients, for our students. And so really understanding our role and empowering our students to make decisions for themselves can be really useful. So coming back to that question, does it work? Does the trauma-informed somatic approach work? The answer is yes. It definitely works when you show up and do it. It's not a magic pill that you will take it and, oh yeah, I read a couple of books, it should be working now. It doesn't work like that. Knowledge is only one part of it. Then you have to do the practices that actually help you in practical terms implement it. And then you do it, practice. And then it becomes embodied wisdom. It becomes, well, of course, I check in with myself. Of course, I put in clear boundaries around my work and what I commit to. Of course, I have the right balance for me of work and rest. That's for you. Each one of us needs something slightly different within the system of the commitments in our own life. Of course, I will take time to do my practices. Of course, I will do some journaling and reflection. Of course, I will ask for support. Of course, I will take care of myself and self-soothe when I am feeling down, and then ask reach out to somebody that I trust. It only happens, you only get to that point when you've done a lot of daily practice and you committed to it and you showed up for it. And, it's because we are creatures of habit. That's how it works. That's how it rolls. That's the reality of it. It's a shortcut that the nervous system and the brain does. Otherwise, we would have to think, learn every morning how to tie our shoes, how to brush our hair and our teeth, how to, put some makeup on, how to get dressed. We need that so we can use it to our advantage. And so the other question that I get is, how long does it take? Well, you can move as quickly as your nervous system allows you to. And that's different for every single person. That's different. It will be different for me. It will be different for you. It will be different for every single client that I work with. So the important thing is, where do you start from? And really being clear about this. And then how much you can commit to it, but also, how much time you need to integrate all of this. And it will be different for each one of us. And so, ultimately, the way that we work as trauma-informed somatic practitioners is about working in systems thinking. It's not the practice. It's not about if the practice is good or bad. It's about, is this the right practice in this moment in time for this particular person? That's what's important. That's what matters. That's what makes the difference. And if we don't know, we try a few things. Let's try this. Okay, see how your system responds to it, your physiology, your nervous system, your whole being. If it makes you feel better, that's great. Better, more stable, more connected, more present, more at ease, more at peace, safer. Or does it not make you feel better? It makes you feel worse. More unease, more chaotic thoughts, more restlessness, more agitation, more or maybe even more shutdown. So sympathetic response and then parasympathetic freeze and shutdown. And more towards parasympathetic stability. So really, really important stuff. This is, for me, the important thing is that we don't only understand it as a theory, that we understand what are the practices that help us implement this theory, to really experience it for ourselves, to really play with it, to see what's true for us, for me, for you, and then continue with it. Years ago, I used to always say to my clients, like, don't believe what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying that this practice will help, or I'm saying that this practice will help. Don't take my word for it. I will teach you this. You go off, you practice a little bit, you come back, and we review. I was lacking a little bit of the language, that trauma-informed language of really explaining it and being able to translate it, which now I have. Language plays a huge part, and we talk a lot in the training about this. But giving somebody just the practice without the understanding of how it works and the theory behind it doesn't work. But also giving somebody just the theory on an academic level without the practices and without the feedback and the collaboration part, the empowerment part, doesn't work either. You have to bring the two together. That's where you get some powerful transformations, some powerful shifts. If you wonder, so, our spring cohort of 160-hour trauma-informed somatic teacher and coach for women training certification starts this weekend. And it's 1 weekend per month. There are 9 weekends. If you are interested in joining us, reach out. I'll be happy to speak with you. I have got some free slots this week. And if you wonder about what's the impact on the female practitioners who are doing or have completed this training, I've had the privilege of interviewing some of them and having conversations with some of them, and which was really heartwarming and really lovely to see the impact of the training, to see how much value they got from the training, from the community, from the interactions, how much growth and change they experienced. If you are interested in that, I will share the link to those videos, and they also are released on the podcast if you one of those people that prefers to listen to a podcast rather than watch a video. And one other thing that I wanted to say, tomorrow I'm also running a free masterclass, which is called Overcome Your Imposter Syndrome, to skyrocket your business for clients. And this is one of the challenges that I see a lot. Most of the work that we do when we are, especially when you are running your business, um, when you want to make impact, when you want to show up in a different way, there can be a lot of inner resistance. And that comes very simply from being in a place where you continuously are going outside of your comfort zone. The growth, to grow requires you to come out of your comfort zone. There is little growth in your comfort zone. You've already done it. So in order to grow, you have to come out of your comfort zone. And that can make us feel unsafe and vulnerable. And often when we are growing, we are doing things that we haven't done a lot or never before. It requires us to, show up in a different way. And that's when the imposter part can come up. And this is what I will be talking about in this free masterclass. I will be talking about different things that you need to be aware of when it comes down to imposter. And one of the things that I really learned over the last 14 years of having my own business is, and I've done a lot of training, I'm part of the masterclasses, or masterminds, I work with a coach and a mentor. I've done it for many years. I've attended lots of coaching courses. As you notice, I love to learn. And I will tell you one thing, everybody thinks, and I used to think, it's all about strategy. Just tell me what to do and I will do it. This is not how it works for most people. For most people, they can have a strategy step by step and they still will not do it because there is something else that is going on internally. And that's the thing that we need to work with if we want to move forward. If we want to grow as practitioners, if we want to grow with our business, if we want to show up in a different way in order to make that positive impact within our communities and the world, that's the thing that we need to work with. Because you can go online and have a strategy of how to do something within literally 2 minutes. You go to chat GPT and ask it to write you a strategy for doing something step by step, day by day, and it will do it for you literally in less than maybe a minute. Does it mean that you will do it? Not so much. How many times have you had a plan in place and you didn't follow it? How many times you said you would do something and you didn't do it? Here you go. So this is the kind of stuff that I will be talking about in the free masterclass. This masterclass will be available for a very short time as a recording afterwards. So if you are interested, and even if you can't join me live, sign up and it will be great to connect there. I will be sharing understanding and perspective and tools for you to share the stuff that I teach in the big 160-hour training certification. So I hope I will see you there. If not, I hope we will get a chance to connect again here in this space. So I wish you all the best. And as I said, if you are interested in joining us for the spring cohort of our 160-hour training, reach out, let's connect and come and join our wonderful community. Take care for now.